today we are getting real about why your YouTube titles might not be getting the clicks you want. I have managed to bring in a legit YouTube expert. Jake's been studying what makes great titles for literal years, and he helps massive creators like Sean Cannell from Think Media, as well as creators like you and I, dial in titles that actually stop the scroll. Jake's going to be checking out real YouTube video titles live and giving some real-time feedback, and also sharing strategies to help our videos stand out. So if you're struggling with views and you want to start writing titles that actually make people want to click, this is your lucky day, my friend. We've had a ton of channels submit their videos, so while we're going to do our very best to get through all of them, make sure you are taking notes all the way through, because these tips they're going to be universal, and there's going to be stuff that you can action straight away to start getting more views on your videos. So with all that being said, thank you so very, very much for joining us today, Jake. It's so awesome to have you here.
Yeah, thanks, Claire. Thanks for having me on.
It's it's been a little minute. I've had we're just talking about. I've just been having a bit of a break from creating content, so I'm so stoked to have you as my first guest back. What a treat
I'm
this is
honored.
going to be.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. And yeah, I meant to mention, I have just hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and as a fun
Woo!
little treat, I'm going to be giving away a few copies of your book. Oh, that was supposed to be a surprise. Spoiler alert. That's the giveaway, everyone. Jake's written an awesome book that I've been devouring over the past since we were talking about doing this live stream. And yeah, I thought that would be what a fun thing to give away.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
So for people who are just coming across you, Jake, could you briefly say a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do in the wonderful world of YouTube?
Yeah. I'm just a YouTube title nerd. I started out managing a channel. That was like my job. I almost got fired because I was so bad at writing YouTube titles. So I kind of made it like my personal mission to get good at YouTube titles and to actually figure out what actually makes a good YouTube title, what makes people click. And I kind of figured it out a little bit. At least I figured out a lot. I know a lot more than I used to. So I started writing about it, and people seem to enjoy my writing, and here we are. Now I'm getting invited to podcasts like yours, and I've written a couple thousand YouTube titles, done a couple hundred A/B tests, which I think is what we're going to talk about today. And I've slowly figured out. I feel like I'm not that smart sometimes, so I have to really dumb down, like, super tactically what makes a good YouTube title, which actually makes for great teaching. So yeah, hopefully this will help you all.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know some of the people who are watching today are already subscribers of your newsletter, and it was really cool going through some of the channel submissions that we had today and going, that's so creator hooks-ish. That's so it's so cool. So that's going to be fun to look at, and get those, see if we can help people get those titles dialed in even more. For everyone who's watching, let us know in the chat. Are you already subscribed to the Creator Hooks newsletter? And also drop any questions that you have in the chat. We've got some good ones to go through, but it's always fun having them live. Thank you so much. I'm newish to this platform. I've been playing around with it for recording, but this is the first for live streaming. So let's see if we can. Oh, that's not very easy to see, is it? Okay. Oh. Oh, this is fun. Oh, we'll put it there over you. Warm welcome to Jake, and hello, Claire. Hello, so nice to have you here. And the Creator Classroom also says hi there. All right, I'm sure there's going to be a way I can play around with that, and I'll play around with those comments and make them a bit more legible throughout. Cool. So, yeah, I think something that has been blowing my mind while I've been researching for today is like, so we're going to be looking at titles and rejigging them for people, which is something that I know you said can have a massive impact on channel, like on the views, potential views for a video. But what would be your suggestion for people around like I guess a formula for creating videos? Do you do that? Do you leave titles last or?
Yeah, I always would recommend you to write your title first. That will make life a lot easier for you. So you could make the video and then try to come up with a title and thumbnail to match what you made. But when you're thinking of a title and thumbnail, uh, it kind of needs like the user or the viewer, they see the thumbnail and then they read the title and they click on your video and then they listen to your intro and then they consume the rest, they watch the rest of your video. And if there's not like kind of congruency with like step by step by step, and they're like, oh, this thumbnail grabbed my attention. Let me read the title. Oh, like I actually do want to watch this video. Now, like let me listen to the intro. Oh, this video is what I thought it was. Yes, I definitely do want to continue to watch the rest of this video. If there's not congruency there, then people are going to drop off. So if you try to write your title at the end, you can come up with a boring title because maybe in your intro or your content, like you didn't you didn't really kind of like boil it down to like one really good concise idea. So you might have a long title or a confusing title that nobody cares about. So that would stink because then no one's going to click your video. You might also write kind of a clickbait title where the title is really good, but it doesn't quite match up with your intro and the rest of your content. So people are they're gonna click your video like, oh, this is a great title. I really want to watch this video. They actually get into your content, and it's like, oh, this isn't really what I was expecting it to be. So they click away, and that's kind of a negative signal to YouTube. So it's just you're playing the game on hard mode if you write the title after. I know it's not always possible, especially like for podcasts. Like you don't always know what you're going to talk about, or maybe if you're vlogging or whatever type of content you may you make. It's a lot easier if you can at least try to prepare a couple different titles. Like, all right, my content is going to be about these things. Like, I have got these 5 potential titles. Maybe we'll cover one of those in the video. That's what I would do. I would try to plan as much as possible. I understand that it is not always possible, but that's what I would try to do.
Yeah. But I think I would love to know from people in the chat, like what your process is. Have you been doing titles first, or have you been doing what I've always done and going, oh, I've got an idea for a video. I'm gonna like write the script, and then I'm gonna film it, and then I'm gonna edit it, and then I'm gonna be uploading it and go, what was I gonna call this video again? Because I think I've just realized I've heard this so many times before, but yeah, the penny finally has dropped on how that is just such a what you're suggesting is a much better idea.
Yes, and I think it's when the video isn't made yet, you feel like, oh, I've got this huge video, I've got to make it, and it kind of feels like the title will be easy or it's not that important because you got this big looming video, and that's kind of the most important thing. That's a big hard thing to do. They're like, oh, I just got to write a short title. So it's easy to kind of devalue the title in the beginning, or not just, oh, like it's just a title, I'll be fine. But I would highly recommend try to fight that. Try to plan as much as possible, and life will be a lot easier for you. And it'll be a lot easier to grow if you start with like a good idea. Like, okay, this is what my audience wants to click on. Now I'm going to make a video that delivers on this promise. Whereas instead you're like, oh, I think this video is cool. Now, how do I package it so that my audience will want to click on it? Like, it's just making things a little bit backwards, and you're kind of doing it the hard way there.
Yeah, I'm really excited to try using that Better strategy moving forward. Yeah. Motif Music Studio says, I have been a wing and a prayer gal for too long, but have been really, really trying to reform my ways and start with the title and thumbnail. Should we have, I actually have Motif Music Studios channel in the, if I can navigate around here, let's have a look. Not that one. Not that one. That's the one. Cool. All right. It should be there with any luck. Yes, it is. Okay. This is Amy. What a legend. Beautiful member of our community here. And this is the video that Amy has submitted. Ditch the piano practice guilt trips and do this instead. So this channel is about teaching teachers how to teach piano. What are your immediate thoughts? What are your first impressions of this title?
My first impression was that I like it. I like do this instead. And that kind of builds some curiosity at the end there. I think so. I'm not the target audience. And this is probably something that we're going to talk about a lot today is if you want to be good at YouTube, you really need to know your audience and the exact words and phrases they use. So piano practice guilt trips that might be, I think I like it, but I'm not in the target audience. So if that's the phrase that the target audience uses, then yes, that's awesome. I think that's a great title. If it's not, if there's a better way to word piano practice guilt trips, I don't personally, I don't really know what it means. Like, what is the guilt trip? Are you guilty for skipping practice? Are you guilty for going to practice, not practicing? I don't really know. So that's my potential. That's my only problem with it is that it might be a little bit not tangible and specific enough that like the audience hears that and like, oh yes, like piano practice guilt trips, like that gets me all the time. Like maybe they do, I don't know. And if they do, that's awesome. It's a great title. If they don't, there might be a slightly better way to word it. But the key kind of lesson here is just really know your audience, know exactly the exact words and pain points and problems and their desires, like in their own words. That'll really help your title if you can kind of speak to them and like hey, like I know exactly what you're going through. This video is for you.
Yeah, Amy has just said, good ponder. They may not use that phrase, not sure. I think it was the thought about teachers frustrated that students aren't practicing. Yeah, it's so, it's so good. It's so good.
So like one thing you could say, like if your students aren't practicing, try this. That in my opinion might be a little bit clear, a little bit more clear. Because you just explained it to two idiots who aren't in your niche. Like maybe that's how you kind of want to write your titles. Is that like, all right, this is just super simple language. Like this is exactly kind of what you're getting. And just using really clear words because on YouTube, you're competing against Mr. Beast, you're competing against cat videos and TikTok compilations and all sorts of crazy stuff. So you really need to be very simple and clear. And someone needs to be able to glance at your title right away and be like, oh yes, this is me. This video is for me. I want to watch this video.
It's really interesting because there's a question coming. I'm going to ask it. I've written it down because I think it is so interesting, and particularly on this. The Creator Classroom actually asked, I've got to look how old school I am. How do you decide between using a curiosity-driven or vague title versus a search-optimized title meant for long-term discoverability? Because that might be like your suggestion for Amy sounds to me like a much broader spectrum of people that might click on it?
Yes. So, are people searching for piano practice skippers?
Good point. Good
I
point.
I think that's like my first question. Is that like,
Yeah.
okay, if it really depends on your topic. If
Mm.
your video is like meal prepping, lots of people search how to meal prep, or your six pack, like how to get a six pack. Then yes, maybe, since there's like so much search volume, although there's a lot of competition, you might want to make a video that's, or a title that's optimized for search. Um, I think 70% of views on YouTube are not search, they're from browse and recommended or suggested on the sidebar. So, you know, so it really depends on your strategy. It depends on one, the topic, and two, the strategy.
Mm.
If it were me, I would probably pick one. I would go all search or all browse. Um, the reason that I would do that is because uh, if you want to get if you want your video to land on the homepage, someone logs into YouTube and they see your video on the homepage, you're like, wow, I'm going to click that video. If you want YouTube to put your video on the homepage, ideally someone's going to binge your channel, and like you're going to have it's going to be interesting to a lot of people, and you're going to have a lot of session time, meaning someone is going to watch a ton of your videos. And if some of your videos are very specific, like how to do something, like um, how to change the settings on your M2 MacBook Air for blah 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 blah, and it's very niche, nobody is going to binge that channel, because it's going to be very hard, because every other video, or every other video is going to be something that's not relevant to the general population.
Mm.
So it is a little hard. You can be successful that way. Um, so like think media, some of their videos are search are are to search, a lot of their camera tutorials and stuff, and then some of their videos are just general YouTube advice that's meant to to be suggested on the homepage, and they are getting a ton of views, like they're doing great. But I think it would be a little easier, if you look at like Film Booth's old video, his videos were only, they're only for browse and suggested, and he got a lot more views per video on each individual video. Now, if you look at their
Mm.
catalog, YouTube had or Think Media had a massive backlog of search videos, so like they got a bunch of views, but on their per video basis, they were not getting as much as Film Booth.
Mm.
Uh, so I think it depends on your strategy. You can win with both, and this is a super long rant, but it depends on the topic and your strategy.
Yeah.
I know a couple people where they are all search videos, and then they try to get videos to be recommended on the homepage, and you click on that video, but like that's the only video you can watch on that channel, because all the other videos are very technical and very specific, and it's just not going to work. YouTube wants somebody to binge your channel. So that's a little strategy rant there for
Yeah.
you, but it also heavily depends on the topic. um,
Yeah.
if there's no search volume, then there's no point in either making that video if you're a search channel, or there's no point in in writing a search, writing a search title for a topic that there's no search volume for.
Mm. Yeah, the Creator Classroom says, and I think this is really interesting. We'll jump in and have a look at the Creator Classroom's channel as well. She says, you know how my channel is extremely search based, but with titles that are more browse based. Is that? What are your thoughts on that? Should we
I
have a look so you know what
Yeah,
we're
we can
what we're
look. Let's
talking
look.
about?
Let's look.
All
Yeah.
right, let's have a little squiz. Um, okay. Oh, hey, Amy. There's Amy. The Creator Classroom. Here we are. So the Creator Classroom's channel. No surprises here from this. It's about Canva, teaching people how to use Canva. And yeah, so I'll just scroll down so you can see. Look at me working out how to use Ecamm.
Good for you.
So yeah, Canva just made YouTube content planning so much easier. This new Canva feature is made for YouTubers. Wait, Canva can do this? New animation options?
All right. So just by looking, uh, I am not seeing very many search terms. All right. So like new Canva feature. I I don't know if people are looking for like I don't know if they're searching like new or new Canva feature. Um, if I am interested in Canva, I would be very interested in that video. Uh, so I would probably click on it if it was suggested to me, but I don't think I would search it, um, which is awesome because people love new stuff. So like it's kind of like breaking news and calling out a specific audience is it's a really good title. Um, and and it might rank in search, but it's not like I don't think it's totally optimized for search.
Mm,
So and then Canva just got even better with features you'll actually use. Again, like it's not really a search video. So I think I would I would say that this video I would assume that their most recent videos are getting most of their views from browse as suggested, if I were to guess. And I'm only guessing that because there's not like, they're not very like specific keyword driven. Um, and they seem to be written to grab your attention, if you're just browsing, which is, an awesome strategy. But yeah, that's what I would assume. And YouTube paid for my $4,000 desk setup. Again, people aren't searching for, will YouTube pay for my desk setup? So yeah, this seems to me like um, a browse first channel. However, I wouldn't be surprised if she's got some older videos that are kind of ranking in search for Canva terms, and those
mm,
are could potentially be um, getting a lot of views these days. But
yeah.
that is my first impression of
Oh,
the top
that's
last
interesting.
6 videos.
She says, I actually optimized these for browse, not
Yeah.
search. And she says she changed her strategy this month.
All
Um,
right.
yeah. Well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
I think they look optimized for browse. Like this new Canva feature is made for YouTubers. Like that's a great title for browse. It's breaking news. It's calling out a specific audience. Um, if it was this new Canva feature is awesome, that's cool. If a lot of people, if you have a kind of a big audience, it's because it's probably a very competitive thing. But calling out a very specific audience will grab more people's attention. So I like it. I think she's doing a great job with this kind of pivoting this strategy. It looks like you're executing it well. So good job.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, that's great. Um, yeah. I think when I first heard you talking about not doing both, not was it an interview you did with Think Media recently, a few months ago. I was like, oh no, I like it. It blew my mind. um,
It's one of my spicier takes, and also it depends on a lot of things. So um, it depends on the competitiveness of your niche. Um, if you are in a super competitive niche, it's going to be harder. So like you might want your strategy like totally dialed in. If you're in a niche that's not that competitive, well then you can kind of get away with some stuff.
mm,
Um, and uh, and both strategies can win. If I am a if I'm selling apartments, like best New York City neighborhood or something would be a great search term. I will probably make more money than 99% of YouTubers, because I'm selling very 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 expensive apartments in New York City.
yeah,
So that's awesome. I might get 100 views a video, but all I need is one client, and I'm going to be making probably a couple $100,000 from one video.
yeah,
Um, with 100, with 100 views or 500 views or whatever it is. On the other side, you could be making money from a faceless channel, and you're like, 10 cat facts or something, and you might get 10 million views, and maybe you're getting $5 and $5 RPM, and you make $5,000, which is cool. $5,000 on a video is awesome.
Mm.
But it's just a different strategy, and you can win either way.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good point. Because, like, I, my video on this channel that has made the most money through, uh, like, Amazon affiliates is a really boring 3-minute video about my microphone. And it's like, it's completely optimized for search, and it has like a, something like a 16% click through rate, which is just, for me, that's pretty crazy. Like, and so it's very, very tempting then to make videos like that. But it's good. It's a really good thing to think about, because I know also a lot of people watching Think Media or like VRA folks. And Sean Cannell has such a big, he talks a lot about making videos that answer specific questions. And my understanding of that was that are optimized for search. But now I'm starting to think, not necessarily. Like, there can
Yeah,
still be videos that answer a specific question, but that are not optimized for search, right?
yes. So I think it depends on what your goal is.
Yeah.
If you are trying to make, like, if it depends, yeah, it depends on your goal. So if you're trying to rank, if you're trying to make more money from Amazon, right? 'Cause maybe that's how you make money, is through Amazon affiliates. Then
Mm.
yes, of course, making a specific video about this camera, that people have questions about this camera. Those people are going to be very high intent people. Like, they are looking for to either answer a problem or find a solution, and like, they're more likely to buy. So you want those people. If
Mm.
you get 100,000 views on a video that's just like, just maybe not really selling, it's possible that you won't make as much money, because those aren't buyers. They're just people who are watching a video for entertainment. Whereas you would have made a lot more money with 10% of the views, but they were all buyers, and they all went to Amazon, bought your $2,000 camera, and then you made X amount of dollars from that. You
Mm.
made 5% of
Two
that.
two
So
dollars or whatever it is.
yeah, so
Not the most
but
generous affiliate program.
but it depends on your strategy, because if that's what you want, then you want it. You can make a lot more money if you have buyers versus just people who are watching for entertainment, and they're not gonna buy anything because they're just watching.
Mm. The Creator Classroom says, is it possible to have browse-based content that eventually turns into a big search-based because the browse users watch the video first?
Um, I think it's possible. It kind of depends on the content. So, like, so YouTube, it's not like only like, if you look up something on YouTube, it like, maybe if you look up how to get a six pack, it's not only like 5 tips to get a six pack, how to get a six pack. Like, those are probably going to be like some of the top results, but also some results that are mixed in are going to be kind of more attention grabbing um, uh, videos, not only like kind of very specific videos. I'd be like, do this to get a six pack, and it's like, all right, well, that video is not title isn't necessarily optimized for search, but it kind of solves the search intent.
Mm.
And not like, it's not its primary job, but like, it does a really good job there. And plus, like, this isn't Google. Like, you can see, there's an element of social proof that'll also get you to click. Like, if you see a video has 10 million views and it was published in the last 6 months, you might think, oh, like, this video might have the answer to what I'm looking for. so there is definitely some overlap there. It's not quite as black and white as kind of what I'm making it. Um, but I guess so if you optimize your videos for browse, they can rank in search just because that's how it is. But also, you could change the titles slightly to kind of optimize them more for search. But if if there's a mismatch between like the title and the content, then you might kind of just it might be pointless. So I guess it's possible, yes,
Yeah.
but but if there's a mismatch between like you wrote this like super great like SEO optimized title, and then the intro is like not SEO optimized, it's not delivering on exactly the promise that the user is that the viewer is searching for, then they might just click away because it's not what they were expecting.
True.
Whereas if the whole strategy was like, all right, I'm going to write this SEO optimized title, and then in my intro, I'm going to kind of confirm like, hey, this is like this is what you were looking for. This is what this video is about. Let's get into it. That's kind of like an optimized strategy. So there's like a lot of overlap.
Mm.
But I guess and maybe kind of thinking about that, beforehand would be awesome. And what you can do is like you can, let's say I want to rank for like Canva tips. We'll just like look up Canva tips and see like what's ranking in there. Like, are there list videos? Are there tutorials? Are there how tos? Do they all have the current year in them? Which they oftentimes they do. What kind of titles? Like, all right, what's ranking? A little bit. Kind of what's ranking in like positions 5 through 10. Like, are those more like kind of browse based titles? What does YouTube think that the viewer is looking for, and then how based on what they think, what titles are they showing, and then you can kind of reverse engineer like, oh, this is actually like what the viewer is looking for based on what YouTube is showing me, and then I can kind of make content based on what the viewer is looking for. So
Yeah.
you can kind of get a feel. YouTube makes it really easy. You can see, the publish date. You can see the views. Like, oh, is this working? Like, oh, this ranks number one for this term, but it only has 10 views. Maybe this search term is not worth ranking number one for.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could just kind of just look at it that way and just do some research and then try to see what's going on. But also, if you are creating good content and someone watches your new video, well, if your video a year ago was really good, if YouTube found that the audience really liked it, then YouTube might still be pushing that content, even if it's not like search based. YouTube is going to show kind of your new audience that video from a year ago, so you can still get views for a long time, but you kind of always need to be kind of bringing in creating new content and bringing in new audience. That kind of assumes that like you've tapped out your audience. So there, but I guess all that to say, you don't have to switch your videos to be search based because they had their initial pop and they died off. It doesn't necessarily mean they're dead. They can totally get a lot more views if you have another video that does well, and if this video is kind of like also attracting the same audience.
Mm. Now I know that you're big into like changing titles if they're not working. And we'll have maybe I think the Creator Classroom is changing her title based on what you just said. Um, so one thing I was really curious about was, so you released a video, you thought your title was awesome, and it tanks, and the click through rate is horrible. It's not working. How long do you suggest leaving it before trying a different title?
I have an interesting story for you.
Great.
So one of my good friends runs an agency, and he published one of their his client published their video uh, like last week, and then he didn't really love the title but he had a family emergency and he could not change it over the weekend. So he left it. Well, then when he left it, YouTube found the right audience, and then all of a sudden it got a lot of views.
Mm,
Um, so I personally am more patient than others. And also, to answer your question a little bit more directly, it depends. Um, if you have a smaller channel, if you're getting, you know, less than 100, less than a couple thousand views a video, um, then it, all right, well, let's say you get 10 views a video and you publish a video and it gets 3 views. Well, you're not really going to change it right away because it's like, all right, well, there's YouTube didn't really like, there's not enough data here to make a really good decision. But let's say you get 100,000 views a video on the first day, and normally, but then you get 5,000 views. Like, okay, normally this is what I get. YouTube has sufficient data, and like this is actually probably statistically significant and like
mm,
statistically significantly bad. I'm going to change it after a couple hours or something. But you can't really make that judgment call if you don't really have the volume there. You can't really say, oh, this is legit. So if I have a smaller channel, I'm waiting longer. I would be more patient than other people.
mm,
Um, and I might wait like a week. And if it doesn't do well in a week, then I would change it and I would wait another week. Um, and it can really, really do well for your channel. Like I've seen people, change it and then all of a sudden like it, starts taking off or it gets like 10 times the views. The title or the thumbnail. That's awesome. And that can definitely happen. I've also seen people double their CTR and there was like no effect on views. It was pretty much the same. Um, so, on the one hand, it's not that much of an effort, right? You didn't have to go create a whole new video and create a whole new thumbnail and all the other stuff. So there's all you had to do was rewrite 10 words. So it's potentially a low effort change that could give you a ton of results. This is a super unbacked guess, but I would say if you write a title that's significantly better, 10% of the time it's going to get a lot more views. Um,
mm.
so, and it might be more, it might be less. But just go into if you're going through your old titles and you're writing new ones, just know that not everyone is going to pop off. Also, it probably didn't cost you much. All you had to do is write a new title, and it
Mm,
could potentially bring you a bunch of new views. But it's not going to do that automatically for every video.
yeah. So it's is it possible for videos that are seeming to be completely dead in the water from, months or years ago with a fresh title to make a comeback?
Yeah. It's definitely
Yeah.
possible. But also, was it dead in the water because of the title? Was it dead in the water because of the thumbnail? Was it dead in the water because of the
Yeah.
idea? Was the intro? Did the intro stink? Did the content stink? Did you
Mm,
know? The intro and the content and the idea you can't really change. Um, so you could write an incredible title, but like YouTube
yeah.
is like people just don't like this video. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't
Let it
matter.
go. Let it go, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
the creator
So
classroom said it might not be the title, it could be the thumbnails. Yeah, how do you know? How do
yeah,
you know? Because
yeah. I
it's
mean, you
like that
can.
combination, right?
Yeah, and you can guess, and you can run A/B tests and stuff.
That you can be honest with
There's a lot of
yourself.
yeah, but sometimes it's worth putting the effort of kind of tweaking your old videos, and sometimes you're just better off putting in that effort into new videos.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Let's have a look at another channel because I really loved his question that came along with his channel, which was just, what would be a better title?
I like it. Simple.
Yeah, simple, good question. And I think we're up to open to picking whatever. He gets some amazing views on some of his videos. So, I mean, maybe we could look at one of the ones that has a lot less views. Maybe. What do you reckon?
Sure. Let's do either. All right. Well, let's. Should we do Venom 3, The Last Dance? Steal the one with 47 views 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, let's do that one.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna oh dang, 35,000 views. Wow.
Right?
Um,
That's that seems like a very creator hooks-ish title as well. The secret to to fixing scratch DVDs. Nobody tells you.
yeah. So that has a very large potential audience.
Yeah.
A larger potential audience. Um, it's secret, it's cool. Whereas like Wicked 4K review, you have to like, lots of people have scratched DVDs probably, uh, and maybe lots of people are into Wicked. I don't understand like the and same thing with like Venom 3, like unboxing. Oh, they just feel a little bit more in the weeds to me. They're more specific. They have a smaller potential audience. Um, the secret nobody tells you is a little bit cooler, a little bit spicier. Um, Whereas the steelbook un- unboxing, how many people are interested in that? And I think like most epic 4K edition yet is cool. So I would assume that this is probably a topic issue,
Mm-hmm.
um, not really a title. And he wrote a really interesting title, and he got 35,000 views. That's a lot. Um, and but when you're going into specific videos versus like things like top videos about just about kind of now we're getting confused about videos. Videos about movies, specific movies. You're really narrowing down your audience there, and it can be cool if it's like trending. But yeah, so it really depends. I love the before and after. The thumbnail is really really good. It's so simple and clear. There's a kind of a clear value. The 4K Wicked review Wicked. I don't know. It's just there's no clear like benefit, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's just and you could talking all right like okay, so the secret to finding to fixing scratch DVDs, um, you know, what other problems do people have with like their Blu-ray players or their DVD players? Um, and that would attract a much bigger potential audience. If you're talking about problems, um, you know, people want to solve their problems. Can you do other before and afters? Can what other like kind of secrets and hacks can you do? That's what I would think.
Mm.
I don't. There's not like exact. The Venom 3 Last Dance Steelbook unboxing, most epic 4K edition yet. I don't think it's the title is it's not my favorite, but also I think this would be one of those examples where we could write an awesome title and it wouldn't really do anything,
Sure.
because it's really about the topic there.
Yeah. Yeah. Motif Music Studio said a topic issue versus a title issue. Very interesting thought.
Uh,
Yes. So it's like
so
that.
then, like,
Go on.
no, do you want to go ahead?
No, you go.
All right. All right. So the Pioneer DVR 5100H lives on, but should you buy one? Um, that so all right. So he used like the exact model in the title. Therefore, that tells me that he's trying to rank in search. Um, could he also say like um, the the most epic um, DVR player? And this is kind of hard for me because I'm not in this niche at all. But the most uh, epic DVR player that's still around, or like this 20-year-old DVR player is still incredible. Can you? That would be one way to kind of get a broader potential audience, because like all right, Pioneer DVR 5100H, it's very specific. You kind of need to be looking for that. Um,
Mm.
or could you just like, can you put it in a bucket, call it the most epic DVR player, or like the 20-year old, or the weirdest, the oldest? Can you give it some label that makes it interesting but also really easy to understand? Can you do that and then talk about that? That would be a more of a you know, a browse based title. But that could also bring in a larger potential audience because you're using language that everybody knows, as opposed to DVR 51 Pioneer DVR 5100H. You know, so that would be one way to kind of get more views, because it has a larger potential audience when you're using simpler and interesting language.
Mm.
But then again, it depends. Is he trying to sell those? Through through an affiliate commission, then maybe that might be the right thing, because people are searching for it. But anyway, but that's
Yeah.
those are just some different ways to think about the title.
Yeah. That's very interesting. I've got another channel here who asked an awesome question, I think, because it's something that I believe I was struggling a lot with last time we spoke. Her question is, where are we? What other title options are there for how-to vids without constantly using how to? I think it's such a good question. This is
That is
another
a really
wonderful
good.
member of the community. She's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, so a bunch of different ways you could write this. So like, okay, how I whitened my teeth in 1 week with pink toothpaste. You could just say I whitened my teeth in 1 week with pink toothpaste. Um, you could say I tried this viral pink toothpaste. Here's what happened. Um, you could say 5 tips to whiten your teeth in 1 week. You could, the I wish I knew this about teeth whitening 10 years ago. That kind of has a little hint of regret. I wish I knew this. You could also talk about like, oh, this mistake caused me to have yellow teeth for years, and the mistake is not using this pink toothpaste. That's kind of flipping it on the negative side. So when I think about titles, I try to think about them in a bunch of different ways, but the simplest way to think about titles is through an angles of curiosity, fear, and desire. All right, so like a curiosity based title would be like, you know, uh, I tried this viral pink toothpaste. Here's what happened. So all right, like you'd say nothing. Like it's not negative. It's not like there's no. It's not negative. It's not positive. It's just like straight up curiosity. How I whiten my teeth. Using this pink toothpaste in 1 week. That's desire. I wish I knew this about pink toothpaste. That's kind of negativity because that's a little bit of regret. Or the biggest mistake is a little bit of regret or a little bit of negativity as well. And so we're kind of going to lump fear and negativity there. So those are 3 different angles to think about things. But yeah, simple. You know,
Mm.
you can just kind of also just think about like the outcome. Like, all right, whitening my teeth. Like maybe it's not using pink toothpaste, although that is I think that's a cool topic. If it was something that was like kind of boring, like this, like medical grade doctor toothpaste, like that's not as sexy as pink toothpaste. So
High
you would like
fluoride
maybe you
toothpaste.
yeah. Like you wouldn't say like that very long specific thing. Pink toothpaste is cool because it's very easy to understand. But you could also be like how I whiten my teeth in 1 week, or I whitened my teeth in 1 week uh, with this weird new trick or something, and we're just really talking about the outcome as opposed to like the actual method. So you can kind of zoom in and talk about, yes, I use this pink toothpaste. Like, here's exactly what I did. I used pink toothpaste. You can zoom out and be like, the one trick I used to whiten my teeth. And like, now we're only talking about the outcome. So you can kind of go in and out, and you can talk about, have the titles from the three different angles: curiosity, fear, and desire. Those are a couple different ways we can brainstorm titles, or brainstorm angles, all about the same topic, and you can come up with a bunch of different titles that way. And then you can A/B test those. You can send them to your friends to see what they think. You can just write them all out and see what you like best. There's a bunch of different kind of ways to kind of test
Mm.
them, and you can also just, all right, well, I like this one best. I'm going to try it, and then I'm going to wait for a week, and then I'm going to try this one. I'm going to go from there. So, but yeah, that's how you can kind of think differently about titles and get out of those same how-to habits for every single video.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love your the work that you do and how it just like makes people. There's so many people in the chat saying that they're changing their titles based on this conversation today, and
That's
how it
awesome.
just like makes you think outside of how you think. Do you know what I mean? Like thinking about just like different ways and different approaches. And I think that's what I really loved about your book as I was reading through it. Which is the book that we're giving away at the end of this, which I realize we're already at 51 minutes and you have things to do very soon. So maybe we'll say goodbye to you before we do the giveaway, and fit in maybe one more channel if that's okay with you.
Yes, yes.
Um,
My sick daughter will be home in a little bit.
I also
So,
have a
but yes,
sick
I got.
daughter.
Oh,
It's
no.
contagious through email. Yes. Hopefully she's okay. And yeah. Anyway.
Yes, no, it's nothing. It's nothing bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
Great. That's good. I
yeah.
just was like, oh, I hope that's not incredibly insensitive.
No, it's just a
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah. We're also just dealing with a cold. Oh my gosh. And teething. What a brutal thing to have to go through for the first few years of life. It's really
Yes,
horrible
yes,
teething. Yuck.
it really is.
Um, yeah. Thankfully, we don't remember that for ourselves. Um, so I was just wondering if you could tell people a little bit about that book, about the A/B test book, and how you. I actually have it up here. I'll do a screen share, because I like how you came up with this the idea for it, and how you did it.
Yeah, all right, so this is a little, I don't want to say meta, that's not the right word. But so on YouTube, one of the best ways to grow is to see what has worked for other people and then go do that for yourself. Like, go see what's worked for other niches and then make, that version of that video for yourself. So Russell Brunson of ClickFunnels, which is another software, he wrote a book that was like 101 A/B tests or something, or 101 split tests
Mm.
was the title, and that was for headlines on sales pages. So I was like, well, why don't I make a video about 103 A/B tests for YouTube titles? So the same stuff kind of works in it's not only YouTube where it works for like kind of copying people outside of your niche or modeling people outside of your niche. It also works for pretty much every aspect of business. So that's what I did. I got the idea from that other software creator and one of his offers. And then I was like, I just wrote on Twitter. I was like, hey, does anybody want me to run A/B tests for them? Fill out this form. So I had a bunch of people fill out this form. I just picked kind of 10 random people. I A/B tested, I think it was like maybe 10 or so, maybe 10 or 20 titles on like 10 or 20 channels. And so I put all the results, or not all the results, all the more interesting results into an ebook. And then, that's the book you've been talking about. And
Mm.
there's, obviously it's 103 A/B test results. It shows like the before click-through rate, the after click-through rate, the before title, the after title, and then a little thought on why I think that worked.
Mm.
There were a couple of titles where I used the same strategy a couple times, and like sometimes it worked, and it's like, okay, like this strategy has actually worked a few different times. Like this is probably a pretty good strategy to try.
Mm.
I was also honest there. There were some titles that I tested and they didn't work out. They actually got a lower CTR, and I included those in the book as well, along with what I think I messed up there.
So did
So yeah,
people like
I just
actually give you access to their channels to these? This was
so
happening
so
in.
I used I used a mix of thumbnail tests and TubeBuddy to do the A/B tests, and
Yeah.
it was kind of like an agency mode for those two softwares. So
Yep.
I had access to their channel through the software, so I was kind of like a manager with their account on the software. So
Yeah.
that's how we did it.
It's so interesting because it's so like there's so many different types of channels. So I can see that people could really see from that. Similarly to your newsletter, which if anyone is not subscribed to that newsletter, like it's so amazing how it always you can always relate it to your channel and what you're doing. I have found that to be the case anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. I'm so. I remember I said to you, I haven't actually read the book yet, but I'm just assuming it's good because I love the newsletter. I have now read the book, and I can confirm that it is, in fact, very good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so
I'm
good.
glad to hear that.
Yes, Elle agrees. It is very good. Yes.
Ah, cool.
So,
Thank you.
um, it's an hour. So, I
Did you want to squeeze in one more channel or?
if you're happy to, I would love
Yes,
to. That would be
I'm happy
awesome.
to. I haven't heard the garage door open yet, so
Okay,
I
cool.
got
As soon as the
couple
garage
more
door
minutes.
opens, or we'll just jump into one more.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
here we are. Now this is a channel that's very dear to my heart. It's my brother's channel.
Oh,
um,
awesome.
yeah, so he has a channel where he hosts a lot of live streams where people come together and draw together. And it's a really cool concept. But he was asking me if I could ask you if you have any feedback on this, like, because he gets frustrated with how low the views are, and I'm like, for live streams, it's actually very good. I think. But yeah, what are
Yeah.
your thoughts?
Um. s- So so I don't. I'm not a member of this niche. So I am, and I don't. This isn't my expertise, but a couple of things that I would do. One, I would try to find another channel that is doing what he's doing and is having success, and I would try to I would see, like, all right, how are they forming their titles? What are their titles about? That's like the first thing I would do, and that advice is applicable to almost everybody.
Yeah.
And then I would also think, what is the most interesting part about this? Like, how can we make this a little bit more just a little bit more interesting? So screenshot daily portrait practice on the streamed 5 days ago. What is interesting about this? Screenshot doesn't really tell me anything. Um, like you know so, like, there's a couple different ways we can make it more tangible. You could be like, um, you know 10 people drew the same sketch for 30 minutes or something. um, I don't know if that style would match what he's going here. But like, so recently, one kind of title strategy that has been working is just like using, or like in the title, just saying how long the video is. So like, give me 8 minutes and I'll teach you how to how to sketch. Or give me 10 minutes and I'll teach you how to grow on YouTube. Or like, you know 20 years of sketching tips in 20 minutes. People just like time frames.
Mm.
So that could be something to make this a little bit more tangible. I guess I just don't really know what the video is about and why I should like it or why I should watch it. Um, so you could be like, sketching expert, draws, uh, draws a face in 20 in 45 minutes or something. That might be something to kind of play with. So yeah, so making it more tangible, kind of letting the audience know what they're getting, making, like, figuring out what is the most interesting part of this video. and like kind of using that in the title, and then also it's finding somebody else who's having success with this style of video and kind of modeling what they're doing. Those are kind of the three things that first come to mind.
Yeah, yeah, that's great advice. So I feel like when I look at this and my brother's channel, it's very appealing to the community that he's already built, but not necessarily expanding that. Like, because all of the people that come live and sketch with him, they see that thumbnail, they see that title, they're like, awesome, it's time to draw together, and they, have an interesting conversation. And so often. The conversation that he has during these live streams will be very specific. Like, someone will ask something in the audience, and then like it will turn the conversation, naturally. That happens with live streams. Would it be worth reshaping the title after the live stream around kind of what the discussion has been about?
I think so. I think it's definitely worth trying. There's that.
Yeah.
There's also and I just heard my daughter come in. There's also kind of what we talked about earlier, where like your title, like, people see your title or they see your thumbnail, and then they read your title, and then they like watch the intro of your video. So if there's not a match, it's possible that views aren't going to be all that great, because his average view duration might be low because people they see the title, they watch the intro of the video, and it's not really what they were thinking. So that is something to consider, and I guess just kind of like a problem with live streaming, but yeah, it's definitely worth trying out.
Awesome.
But that's just the cheat code is to just find somebody who's having success doing what you're doing, and then model them.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I hear your daughter, and I think I can hear mine as well. So it's I think it's such a beautiful, beautiful, wholesome wind-up signal. I am so grateful. We weren't able to get through all of the channels that submitted. Thank you everyone so much for submitting, and everyone stick around because I'm going to be doing the giveaway of 3 copies of your book, Jake. And awesome. Yes, but we'll say farewell to you, and thank you so much for jumping on board. This has been so much fun.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's been great. And I think, does anyone know how to exit a guest?
I can hang up. I got this.
Oh, beautiful. Everyone, make sure you check out Jake's newsletter, and I've linked some stuff in the description of this video for you to check out. And I'll catch you. I'll shoot you an email. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, thanks for having me, Claire.
You're all the best.
I'll see you all.
Bye.
Adios.
See ya. All right. Now I need to double click pick a camera source. No, I'm gonna go into the screen share. Thank you everyone so much. That was so fun. I can get rid of that. That's good. Oh, look at this. Look at me learning how to use this system. So I'm gonna check the form that we don't have any extra submissions that have come through during this live stream. Oh, we do. All right. We have extras. I'm so sorry that I missed it during the live, but we're going to have, Geology Dude, thank you so much for tuning in. But we'll definitely enter you in on the giveaway here. So giveaway, everyone bear with me just a moment. Geology Dude, let's get you in on here. How did everyone go? What's everyone's biggest takeaway from that today? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments. Geology Dude, I'm just entering you into the giveaway. Yeah, the book is seriously, it's so good and has totally changed my my whole strategy. And I would love to know how it went for you. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that I did a great job. I think Jake did such an awesome job. The Creator Classroom asks, how did that feel to get back on the wagon of lives? It was very, very fun. What a good time. And it was so beautiful to have so many of you here who put a blanket over your camera now, Jake. Just kidding. Okay. Yes. Yeah, it was so awesome to have so many of you here. This was my first live stream in bloody ages, and because I had my daughter who is nearly 1, so I've taken quite a bit of time off. I've been making some just some regular videos. What are they called? VODs, videos on demand. But was so excited when Jake said he would jump on. I thought, what an awesome thing to give away a few copies of his book. So everyone is in. There were extra opportunities in the form to win the prize. So let's have a little look at who the winners are going to be. Screen share. There we go. Okay, look at this. It's the Wheel of Names, everybody. Wheel of Names. All right. Hassan, so awesome to have you here. So awesome to have everyone here. Oh, you're all a pack of sweethearts. All right. So the first winner of the grand prize is going to be... Hey, woo, we have a winner. Yeah, woo. Okay, I'm going to remove all instances of you. Elle, congratulations for being the winner of the grand prize. All right. Yeah, let's get another drum roll. Ooh, yes, winner. Fantastic. Let's get another drum roll. The second winner of Jake's book, which is linked in the description, if you miss out, and it's so good. All right. Second winner. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Is Omar. Thank you so much for submitting your channel. I'm hoping maybe we'll be able to convince Jake to come back on and do another one of these, and we'll make sure we get around to some more of these channels that you have all submitted. Number 3, third person. Who's it going to be? 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 It is going to be Home Cinema Enthusiast. Awesome. Love it. Can you all hear those cheers that are happening that I can hear from this website, Wheel of Names? Yeah, awesome. So who were our winners? Elle, congratulations. You are a winner. Speak Spanish Now. You are also a winner. And also Home Cinema Enthusiast. Please send me an email. I will reach out to you. Actually, I've got all of your email addresses because I made you put them on the form. But I know Home Cinema Enthusiast is not here yet because it is 6 a.m. where we live. So I'll send you all emails. Oh no, you couldn't hear the applause? That's a shame. All right. Thank you everyone so much. I know Hassan has said he's going to go back and take notes. I really encourage you to do that as well. And yeah, let's see what kind of impact it has on our views. I want to know feedback from you all as well. If you start changing titles or changing your title strategy, let me know if it works out for you, how it works out for you. Yeah, awesome. Thank you everyone so much for attending my return live stream. You are such a beautiful pack of people, and I'm so grateful to have you all here. Now, I just have to work out how to end this live stream. Finish. I guess that'll do.